It's actually I took my first Ego vape and turned it into a copper Ego, I guess you could say. I call it my copper mod, but it's not a mod. It's just an Ego battery inside some copper. Um, Here it is, sitting with a Kangertech Mini Pro Tank 2. What I did was, if you can see, there's the top to the Ego right there. I'm going to take my tank off and I'll show you guys how it's actually, well, not how it's put together because it's glued. It shouldn't be glued, but I took my pipe reamer and cleaned the inside out totally smooth on the bottom end before I put the cap on, and the Ego top, the silver part with the button, fit in there with some room to spare, so it didn't sit as flush as I would like, or as tight as I would like. So what I did was I cut this piece of pipe, half-inch copper pipe. I believe it's M copper type M. I'm a partial plumber by trade, so this is particularly fascinating to me. I don't know if anyone else cares, but I like working with copper, so, and brass. But so what I did was I took a piece of type M copper, half-inch, cut it to size. I don't know the exact size. I just kind of cut until it fit. The battery, I think, has about an eighth inch of play inside, so if you shake it, it kind of rattles. But hey, first time, first try. This is a prototype, and I think it looks pretty damn good. So what I did is I took some half-inch M type M half-inch copper, and I took this top piece off of the existing body, which was actually a black brand, and it was cheap $25 starter kits you could buy. And this top comes out of the body with a little wiggling and finesse, and so you pull it out, and then underneath that is a computer chip, which is your shut off, and your, for like your battery dies, it shuts off. You short out, it blinks, all that shit. So you pull that out, you get a little computer chip with it, and a battery with a couple wires, and you take that, you slip it into some copper, which what I did was I took some copper and I put a half-inch cap on the bottom, and I can solder, but I can solder pipe, and it doesn't look, well, it looks pretty for soldering pipe, but it doesn't look pretty for ornamental reasons. So what I did was I just took some channel locks, and I don't know if you can see them, but there's some channel lock marks right there. I just took my channel locks and I crimped it on there, just squeezed, without like bending or crimping the actual pipe. It works pretty well even in the plumber field. If you can't get something to stay, just put some pressure with some channel locks and it'll stay, so you don't have someone holding it for you. And then what I did is I took these are called compression rings, and they come inside angle stop, which is, under your sink, where, you're shut off for your hot and your cold under the sink. Well, inside of that is a compression ring, which tightens the pipe, tightens onto the pipe as you thread the nut onto the actual angle stop. And what it does is it tightens onto the pipe and keeps a good tight water seal, which is crazy. You can just seal brass and copper with a crimp. Who'd have thought? But so what I did is I took 3 of those and slightly evenly placed them out. I'm sure I'm off by, 1/16 of an inch or so, but shit, man, look at that. That looks pretty spiffy. Got the idea from, there's a steampunk mod, I think it's a company called Steampunk Mods or Steampunk Vapes, and they have one called the Piston, which is a mechanical mod, which I love. I have a mechanical mod. I love my mechanical mod. It's a KTS, and it might be a cheap, shitty mod, but the KTS is a decent mod. So, got the idea from that. And my next step is let me show you. my little goodies. I have this piece of 3/4 inch type M copper with one compression ring. What I plan to do is to get a few more compression rings, a couple 3/4 caps. This will then become my 18650 mechanical mod. All I have to do is figure out how to fashion a button and how to make the cap and the bottom cap and the top cap work so that nothing shorts out, so I can make the button fire fully mechanical. That's my plan. Anyways, there it is, the copper Ego. Don't know if anyone's made one before. They probably have, but if they've made a mechanical copper mod, I'm sure they've made a new body for the Ego, but I think this is pretty badass. You may not. I do. I think it looks pretty fucking cool. It's Ego, man, but it's custom Ego. Huh? Looking at it now in the camera, I'm probably off by a little more than 1/8 of an inch on my spacing. But man, it feels nice in the hand. Like, it grips nice, man. Just, you hold it for too long and your hand turns green, which I'm fine with. I like copper anyway, so I'm not allergic to it. They have a varnish or a resin, or I think it's a non-corrosive, non-corroding or non-oxidizing varnish or some kind of dip you can put on this or dip it in or something, and it won't corrode or patina. But you know what? I mean, this started out as really nice shiny copper, and you can see this has only been since Saturday, and today is Monday night, so almost Tuesday. It's been 1, 2, 3 days just about, and it's already got a little patina going on around the rings. On the rings, I mean, look, those channel lock marks, they were clean before. Look, now they're all patinaed out. Patinaed copper is beautiful. Maybe it's just me, but I love when copper patinas in a good way. I mean, it's when it's just nasty looking pipe with, you're soldering copper pipe, and you got some flux running down, and then give it 20 years and you open it up and you got green all over your copper pipe. Just green all. It looks like shit, but that's the flux, and people don't take care of it. You're supposed to wipe it after you solder it with a wet rag. It steams and cleans it. It looks beautiful when you're done. It stays beautiful for a long time. And so that's my plan with my next mechanical mod, is to learn how to do clean soldering for brass parts onto copper tubing and make somewhat of a steampunk mod. Mechanical. I would like to copy the guys in Australia that made that piston steampunk mod, but I can't copy them. So I'm going to take their ideas, and I'm going to take a couple other ideas, and I got my own ideas. I'm semi-creative with metal. So I'm going to take all those ideas, slap them together, and then I'm going to make a mod. So, anyways, just thought I'd show it off. There it is. Beautiful. I think it's beautiful. It's not perfect. I'll show you right now. You go to put a, got this right here. There it is. Go to put a tank on it, and it's a little lopsided, but, it's a prototype. It's a work of art. It's a one-off, is what it is. No one will ever make one of these. You turn it like this, bam, ba bam. It's a little crooked if you look at it. It's like a little crooked. It's like could get dirty with this, but I'm just saying it's like a crooked carrot or a cucumber, whatever you're into. But anyways, here it is, Mini Pro Tank 2 on my one-off little copper Ego mod. There it is, bam bam, my Nibco. Let's see right here, can you see that? Oh, it's backwards because I'm facing myself with the camera. Anyways, Nibco is the maker of the copper caps and a lot of copper stuff and brass stuff, and a lot of plumbing supplies come from Nibco, valves and whatnot, and Nibco's the shit. So here's hands up to Nibco, man. If anyone from Nibco or works for Nibco, uses Nibco, hands up to you guys, man. Look at that. You just made a piece of art. So, give you a couple vapes. I think I'm at 1.4 ohms on my Kangaroo Pro Tank 2, Mini Pro Tank 2. See how she vapes? Shit against a white background, that ain't bad. Let's get something else. That ain't bad, my friends. That ain't bad at all. Oh yeah, here's the fattest, most adorable, loving cat you'll ever see in your life. And that's Mr. Cat. Just thought I'd show him off. Oh yeah, Mr. Cat. Say hello, Mr. Cat. Say hello. Hello. That's my buddy. Yep, anyways. A couple more vapes and we're out of here. Hey, bad. Loving Kanger, man. I vape Kanger all day, man. I got my Mini Pro Tank 2. I got my, let's see. So I got my Mini Pro Tank 2, like you saw. Open a drawer here and lay them out. See how we're looking. So I got a Mini Pro Tank 2. Loving it. 1.4 ohms. Not bad, not good, but not bad. It's less than stock. I also have my EVOD. I think that's by Kanger Tech. I think this is a fake, but I think Kanger makes the EVOD too. Not sure, but I think the real one's supposed to have 3 holes like the Mini Pro Tank 2 and Aero Tank and the Pro. You know, they all have 3 holes. This one's only got 2, but you know what? This thing hits like a champ, and it takes all the Kanger coil heads. So then I have my all famous Aero Tank still sitting at, I think I'm at 0.9 ohms with this build. I just built a new coil with some cotton. I also have a zero Nick 100% VG juice in this. Never hit 100% VG juice before today. And it gives me a little cough. And every time I take a hit, it just kind of chokes me up a little bit. I don't know, kind of weird, but it doesn't feel unhealthy. When I have something mixed with a bunch of PG versus this, I definitely can tell that this doesn't feel as bad as when it got some PG mixed in with there. You know, when I cough with that, it just tastes bad. It just feels bad, you know, like almost like cigarettes. And I'm not a big fan of PG. But it's my first full 100% VG zero Nick. I think this is some kind of crazy melon mix from the local shop here in Ramona. They're called they're called Vapor Trail. And you know what, those guys over at Vapor Trail, if you're looking at this and you're in San Diego or you're anywhere near Ramona, California, in the northeast San Diego County, the Vapor Trail, those guys are sick, bro, and they know their shit, and they like to talk, and they got bar stools where you just go there and vape and talk and buy something. Even if you don't buy something, they'll still just sit there and vape with you and just kick it, you know, it's really tight. But anyways, so I'll give you a couple vapes off of this. I think I'm at 0.9 ohms. See, it's clear. Look at that. Never had a clear juice before because I've always had like 12% in my juice. 12% nicotine. 12 milligram nicotine. I should rephrase that. 12%. That's... Anyways.